Yeah, this will
We're
have to
back,
work.
baby. Some things never change.
Oh.
Ooh.
Well, hello,
Hey there.
everybody.
Welcome to Jake. Let's Jay.
Kick back, grab a beverage, and something edible
And your best friend's face.
in your best friend's face. Just grab it. Grab it with your hands. And you can sit back and watch the Jake was Jay podcast. We're back, baby, 2021.
That's perfect.
Yep.
And we're back from being back.
We're
Hi,
back
guys.
from being back. Hey, what's up?
Unsplice.
Look at that. We're actually doing this now. I'm wearing a shirt with my name on it that says stop afterwards, which is what people say a lot of times.
Jordan, stop.
Karen. We played TKO, and Joseph printed my shirt that was made just for me. It's Jordan, stop. Karen. He's been meaning to give it to me for the past 3, 4, maybe
Around there.
Around there.
Not 4, but
Not 4, but maybe 2. Maybe 2 months.
solid. Yeah, since
Yeah.
since mid-November.
Wow.
It was not intended as a Christmas present, and it came. I only gave it to you now today, halfway through
Well,
January.
I'll take it nonetheless as either an early or a late one for next year or
Yes.
yeah, whatever. It works.
I'm not getting you a present next year.
No, oh, okay, good. Yeah, I've got it now. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're back. We've been gone for a little bit, busy with things, different
Life,
things,
yeah,
life things.
big life things,
Um,
all about that life things.
but
But we're back, baby.
podcast never dies. It never ends. It's always doing things. And
It goes
so-
in a coma from time to time.
It does. It does. This was a hiatus, not really purposeful, but
We
kinda-
whipped out the defibrillator. Blah, blah, blah.
the
The
defibrillator.
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 And wait,
It's a weird word to say, unless say.
clear. Oh gosh, you probably peaked the mic.
Oh
there.
no, it actually didn't.
Oh no, look at that.
It was very subtle. It was
That
very
was
subtle.
that was kind.
Love test. It's a little, there it was. That
Ooh,
peaked.
That yeah.
That got it.
We're here to peak the mic.
Yep.
It's,
That's what we're doing today. We're peeking the mic.
We're peaking my life. Oh gosh.
So, that's so big. Isn't it?
It's like a solid centimeter of just noise.
But yeah, so we're back and we're swinging. We thought we would change the scenery a little bit.
We are swinging.
We are swinging. I don't. Whose doing is that? Because my legs aren't moving.
Do you see how my legs are? You
Well, I can
hey,
see
camera,
how your
if
legs.
you pan down, you can see that my legs are actually going.
They can't pan down. They just.
What do you mean?
Well,
This isn't a 360 camera.
no.
I've been lied to this whole time.
Have I said 360? I don't remember saying 360 camera. Can you imagine what? Like, if we had a 360 camera, I would just pan on our hands for all of our gameplays, just to see us like button mashing and looking like we have epilepsy.
Every gang beast is just
Every
and all
yeah,
the triggers are
spanning the triggers. Yeah.
just- Take that out of context. I don't know what you would use it for though.
You know what else is out of context, right?
What?
How great the Mandalorian season 2 was.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about the Mandalorian today.
So I mean, not that it was really out of context. I just didn't know how to make a transition.
Nah.
And I made one, and it worked.
It worked. It was great.
Yeah.
Mandalorian was great.
Yes,
y'all.
it was.
Oh my gosh. We're back in business, baby.
We are back in business,
Star Wars is here.
and he has a Coleman. Nice.
Yes. I
Very
yeah,
good
my
brand.
new water bottle.
Yeah.
New year, new insulated water bottle.
Amen. I think I didn't get one, but that's okay.
It's okay.
Good.
Yeah,
I got a
but
Yeti mug for an early Christmas. I bought one for myself.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. You ever just
Yetis
get
and-
Yetis and
Yetis and
well, it was one of the coffee cup
Monsters
tumblers,
and-
so it was one of the coffee cup ones.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Nice.
I obviously drink coffee from it now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You usually drink coffee. Did you just change sunglasses?
Why?
I was just wondering. I just wanted to make sure I caught it right.
No, yeah, that's good. You want
Cool.
to try those on?
Yeah, no, I'll
They're
put them on
good.
over my glasses
Those
because
are the
I
good
can't see
ones.
otherwise. So,
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is impressive times to be a Star Wars fan.
you know that?
Definitely.
We were talking the other day, and I think I mentioned this. Mando really kind of revived Star Wars for me, and for you, and for a lot of other people. I think one of the things that I have against really against the sequel trilogy. Again, when we refer to the sequel trilogy, that is episodes 7, 8, and 9, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. It really didn't leave me with anything. It was a completed series. I was not overall pleased, but I was not overall disappointed. And I walked out of the theater when we went to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I walked out of the theater simply just kind of like, okay, well, it's over now. It's concluded. It's done. The stories.
The Skywalkers have rised.
That's sure.
Yeah.
She changed her name, not even legally, and that's how they rose. I guess.
Can you imagine the real ending? She goes to Coruscant instead of Tatooine. There's some random bookkeeper. Like, hi, yes, I would like to take the last name Skywalker. Dun, 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 dun.
George Lucas pops, yeah.
George
Lucas is the bookkeeper. Yes, that would be so awesome. Why didn't they do that? That'd be incredible.
The real endings. The real endings.
Yo.
But I think the big thing for me is like whether you. I don't want to hate on the sequel trilogy or something because different
Absolutely
strokes,
not.
Different blokes, different folks, all that.
That's interesting. I've never heard that one before.
Never. Completely unique phrase.
Yeah, totally.
But I feel like you said, there was a loss of just one. It was finished, and so it's kind of a what do we do next?
Yeah.
But it's also whether you enjoyed it or not. There was a lot of divisiveness there, and obviously fandoms aren't known for their happy, peaceful existence. They tend to be very toxic. But I think that even if you remove that toxicity, you still saw a very strong split in people that enjoyed and didn't enjoy what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And Mandalorian is a great example of a show that took the sequel trilogy, took its concepts and all that, and took what geeky kind of Star Wars fans knew from like older times and also even from the animated canon shows.
Yeah.
And took from the some of the older Star Wars movies concepts from each of these things and just blended them together.
Yeah.
And it's hype to see.
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things we talked about first, sorry y'all, the wind's blowing because we're outside and that's what wind does. But one of the things that we talked about when we talked about, I think we had this was way, way, way back, and I can link that episode in the description. We talked about when Disney Plus was first a thing, because Disney Plus, Mandalorian was kind of published. It was published with Disney Plus of it was out, and we talked about how we were really interested in the Mandalorian, but we didn't want it to be overtly Star Wars. We didn't. Yeah. We had seen Star Wars. We had seen enough of it. We know what Star Wars is. Now show us what Star Wars can be.
Yes.
And sure enough, we got that with the first season, and we got even a bigger taste of that with the second. And I think that was, the Star Wars universe is so big, with something like, something else that is fantasy that's also very, very famous and beloved by many, Lord of the Rings. You are kind of limited because it's limited to really planet Earth or an area the size of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
It's Middle Earth and some surrounding lands, which really truly is basically Europe and some parts of Asia and Africa. That's really what you're limited to with the story of your world.
As I am familiar with the Lord of the Rings when they go to Egypt.
Yes,
That is a
and
classic
Liberia.
Classic moment when they see the pyramids and Gimli goes, "Oh, you're gonna have to toss me over there."
Okay. Good turn. You have to toss me.
You have to toss me over the
Toss me over the
pyramids.
That still only counts as one. Anyway, we digress as usual. But
yes.
You're limited there with what you can really do. Star Wars is like, imagine if the human race, we could go anywhere. And in anywhere in the Milky Way galaxy, we could go. But we choose to stay on Earth because, for whatever reason,
it's chill here.
It's chill. It is, well, maybe. Not right now anyway. But
we're trying.
We're
not doing a good
really
job.
Trying, yeah. But we choose to stay here and not And it's like, we can go there. It's not dangerous. It's not out of place. It's not unwanted. We just choose not to go there. And that's really where the Star Wars universe was headed. There was so much you could do with it. A wide open galaxy of possibilities. Remember, Din Djarin, who is the Mandalorian, is not somebody who existed before the Mandalorian became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was a character that was written for the show, yet he fits perfectly in place in a galaxy that we've known for so long. And so that was the thing that really impressed me. It was like, they really, as I said, showed us what you can do with Star Wars, and there was a wide open, quite literally, galaxy of possibilities, and they finally tapped into it.
Yeah, and something else that is interesting is I, as somebody that actually, despite loving this kind of thing, I never actually watched the Clone Wars or Rebels or any of those.
No, I never did either.
As wonderful as I hear about the things are about them, season 2 of Mandalorian heavily taps into those shows.
Yeah,
that's where all the Mandalore stuff, all the guest appearances.
Thrawn's name is mentioned.
Yeah,
which I was nowhere close to expecting that, but they're connecting that to the Ahsoka show.
Yes.
They've cast Lars Mikkelsen's brother. Sorry,
no,
Mads Mikkelsen's brother, Lars Mikkelsen,
who already voiced him in Rebels.
Yes. So they've cast him as Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Grand
Admiral Thrawn in the new Ahsoka Tano Star Wars series.
As someone that hasn't seen Rebels but is familiar with Star Wars lore before the reboot and so on,
he survived the EU destruction.
he did, and that's something that Dave Filoni, who is the writer of Clone Wars and all of those, but he's also just he's the Star Wars geek that is sort of running the show in this kind of TV world. Like, obviously, Favreau's the one that's making
it's more of, Dave Filoni is definitely...
Dave Filoni's the encyclopedia.
He is the encyclopedia, and he's really in charge of a lot of, I think, the creative writing and forming these episodes and putting these characters in and how they should be put in. And that's why he's so good at it, because they got two people who were just really passionate about Star Wars, and they were like, okay, go make a Star Wars show. And they were like, yes, thank you.
We'll do. We got you.
Yeah. So that's definitely a lot on his part.
And what I love is we're getting to a point now where Star Wars can be what it needs to be for different people.
Yeah.
Like, because that was, I think, a lot of the issues with the sequel trilogy and some of the early movies is, this movie comes out and this group of fandom, whether I was part of it or not, like, loved this movie or hated that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side of the fans didn't feel included in Star Wars. It felt like Star Wars was telling them, you don't belong here. You're not part of this.
Yeah.
But now we're reaching stability and size in which Mandalorian can be for this group of Star Wars fans. And
it appealed to everybody.
When Rian Johnson makes his own trilogy, because I do think that's still happening.
Yeah.
It will be for that group of Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
And the comics they're making will be for the people that still want to read the comics. And one of the things that I do respect them for, even though I haven't been able to read it yet, is actually Thrawn was one of the first kind of extended universe characters that got brought back.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Zahn, the original writer of Thrawn's character, actually wrote a Thrawn book in the new universe.
Oh wow, okay.
So I haven't been able to read it. Yeah. So they are now establishing, bringing in all the different kinds of Star Wars fans, and I think that's very important.
And we're realizing too that you don't have to put together a new $250 million budget movie to continue on with the Star Wars universe, and that it's not all about the Skywalkers. Literally every Skywalker at the end of The Rise of Skywalker was dead. Okay. And the only person living was technically a Palpatine. I just find that ironic still, even though she changed her name. She was ironic. Like, that's my name. It's ironic. Yeah, no, I find...
was that Dawn Palpatine?
Dawn Palpatine? Oh my God! You know how incredible that would be.
That's ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
It's what we need.
That's a crossover we need. Marlon Brando would be a perfect emperor, and I'm just saying that right now. I know he's dead, but he would be.
I mean, who fits the role?
It absolutely fits the role. Yes.
But no, nobody could replace our beloved Ian McDiarmid.
Ian McDiarmid, yeah.
No, it's fascinating to see as things continue to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm hyped for it.
Absolutely. I think that, again, what they're doing is showing us how limited Star Wars was before. And, again, you watch the sequel trilogy. Oh, yeah, your water's right there.
I got one.
He found his water, guys. The sequel trilogy happened, and we watched it unfold, and we were really excited about 7. And then we saw 8, and we were like, what happened? And then we saw 9, and was like, okay, you kind of fixed it.
I was very... It's funny because we went through separate journeys.
Yeah, that's true.
You were like super excited about 7.
You're on the fence.
I was not as into 7.
Yeah.
8 made me like 7 more, but I really didn't like 8. It made me like 7 more because the things that 8 did well were with the new characters. I liked the route that Rey and Kylo were going. I liked that part.
That was good, and visually, it's probably one of the most stunning Star Wars movies.
I will get 8 is cinematographically blah blah blah. Cinematographically.
Cinematographically. I don't know if that's a word to use, but
it is now.
From a standpoint,
one of the prettiest ones in the entire 9 movies.
Yes, absolutely, and but
but it made its own decisions, and I don't like all of them. That's fine.
You're putting makeup on a pig.
Oh, wow. I mean, you said it.
It's not that. It's just there's so many things that really
it does a lot of things that I don't like.
They handed off Star Wars, and Rian Johnson's not a bad director because about a year later he made Knives Out, which is one of my favorite movies.
I need to see it.
And he's not a bad director. It's just like
Star Wars was been playing with other people's toys.
No, well, he shouldn't have been given other people's toys, and that's the thing. Like you have J.J. Abrams, who put together overall pretty daggone good product in Episode 7, and then you got to Episode 8, and it was handed off, and then Episode 9 was just compensatory to fix the stuff that happened in 8.
I still think that 9's largest issue is that it wanted to be 2 movies. I legitimately think Abrams had it just plays like he had a 7, 8, 9 plan. They made a different director for 8, and then he still kind of wanted to use his plan, and so he shoved it all into 2 movies, and all 2 movies into one script. And so
it's a lot.
It
is very much
so much, and it's a bit
lot.
Of a mess.
It's a mess, and it's very fine. For the conclusion of an entire saga. It's very anticlimactic. But we say all this because Mandalorian did everything really well, and you are. Again, movies are most impactful to me when I'm left with something. At the end of, for example, at the end of Avatar 2009, I'm just left with wow, that's aged very well, but that's also again a lot of trees, flying dragons, and Stephen Lang being a buff general who tries to kill everybody. That's what I'm left with, and it's not much, and that's why I don't think it's a very good movie. But when it comes to Mandalorian, you're left with, again, maybe some spoilers. Well, definitely some spoilers for this as well. But you're left with a little bit of sadness because Din and Baby Yoda are parted. But you're also left with hope in that he's okay, well, he's in the right lands. He's with Luke Skywalker. Yeah. What other Jedi would you rather be with? But you're also left wondering, okay, what the heck happens to Grogu? There still is going to be a Mando season 3, which will come after the Book of the Boba Fett.
And that's the other thing that I'm excited for, is that we're starting to see the spinoffs happen.
Yeah.
And
Mando opened that door.
Boba Fett. Temuera Morrison
saw more action than he did.
Oh my gosh. He has finally ascended to what he has been in Legends for so long.
Yeah.
And Temuera Morrison just absolutely destroyed the role. And I'm so excited to see him in this rogue spin-off. He's not just a bounty hunter for hire. He's his own boss now, and very much. I knew he was his own boss before, but he doesn't want to contract to people anymore.
No,
he wants people to contract to him.
Yeah, so and that's what's so cool too, is that Mando made all this possible. Mm-hmm. None of this came from the sequels or the prequels or the original trilogy. None of this came from it. It came from an idea, and then we finally went, wait, we can work this in. We can work all these characters in. We can work in Ahsoka Tano. We can mention Grand Admiral Thrawn. We can bring back Boba Fett. And we can even bring back Luke freaking Skywalker in the last 10 minutes of the entire series, and it's going to make perfect sense, and it's going to not disappoint anybody, and it's going to open up so many doors for the rest of Star Wars as a medium.
And
really.
one of my, I guess, sort of final thoughts about it is something that I've been impressed about is in our earlier episodes of Mandalorian, I specifically said I didn't want to see Jedi. I said I didn't want to see. I didn't want to see lightsabers and all that. I was kind of done with that for not forever, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted to see something else. The fact that I enjoyed the integration of Jedi in this season, and it felt so natural and correct and flowed everything, says a lot to how they,
because it had a place.
It had a place. They had their place. It didn't extend beyond its place.
No,
you know,
it's
the Jedi were where they were, and it stayed where they belonged. They weren't just everywhere magically.
Yeah,
they had to be desperately sought out, and now it's happened. The transaction has happened, you know. Grogu is now in Luke's hands. I'm sure that's not the last we'll see of it.
No, yeah.
But it's still in its place again.
Absolutely. And with the same with working Ahsoka in, which I didn't, honestly, I would have, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the show, it was like at some point during this season, you're going to see Luke Skywalker and Ahsoka Tano, I would say more so, I would be like, you know, it makes sense for Luke to be there. I don't know about Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
That really surprised me more than, well, not
I will
more than
say
anything
the
else,
biggest,
but it like,
the biggest
I
thing
didn't see
that
that
tied
coming
it
at
all
all.
in, and the way that it works in the show is how it works, because these characters all had the ties to each other.
yeah.
So when Mando found the Mandalorians that are in Clone War Rebel times, they would know Ahsoka. That's sort of the leap of how she got
Bo-Katan,
involved.
yeah.
Yeah, Bo-Katan. So it is very interesting how Filoni was able to tie in his own work to kind of make it all a cohesive piece.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, props to you know, Disney and Lucasfilm for really putting this together and realizing that you didn't need to go grab another like director who just has a big resume. Like Dave Filoni, for the most part, as far as widespread, was not super well known
Filoni
before
and
Mando.
well, here's the thing. Filoni and live action stuff practically didn't exist. Filoni's work has pretty much entirely been animated CGI.
Yeah.
He originally, his original kind of breakthrough thing was Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Oh yeah, he worked on. Yeah.
He was one of the big leads behind it, and I believe Korra as well. From there, he was contacted by Lucas to make Clone Wars, which was his jump from 2D to 3D animation.
Yeah.
And then
If you think
Clone
about
Wars,
it, there are some similarities.
There definitely
you can tell it's if you know Filoni's work, you can tell it's him in both ways.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but then from there, he's such a, and one of the reasons that he was contacted and stayed with Lucas in the first place is that he's such a knowledgeable and loving Star Wars advocate. Like he's such an encyclopedia of knowledge about it. He understands the ins and outs of not just the movies, but of the universe as a whole. That he was the perfect voice for assisting Favreau in The Mandalorian, and that's where I think we get a lot of this.
Yeah.
So this is basically just the Dave Filoni appreciation.
You know, it really can be called that, but I think
Dave.
I'm just excited to see where it's going to go, because there's a lot more happening. There's the Cassian Andor series, which Cassian Andor was by far, him and K2SO were by far my favorite parts of Rogue One. That's about the only characters from that movie I like and appreciate. To be honest, I'm just being honest. And a lot of people disagree with me on that one, but you know, I really
podcasting, a man of your talents.
What a good meme.
It's a great.
It's very applicable.
Star
to
Wars memes
everything.
will always be beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
Things.
But yeah, like I'm excited about that series.
Yeah.
And there's several others I've quite forgotten the name of, because there was like 9 different announcements. So, you know, there's a lot happening, but I think one thing that we can take away is that it really, truly would not be possible without Mandalorian and its success and what what we were able what they were able to do with it, because after season 1, you know, we were like, man, that was freaking good. What are they going to do with season 2? And they outdid themselves tenfold, and also opened the door for so many different projects that they could partake in when it comes to Star Wars as a whole. And I think the best of Star Wars is yet to come. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not interested in seeing a Star Wars movie right now. Stick with what you know. Stick with what's working for you right now, which is the live action television series. It's worked. Just follow the slate. Listen to Favreau and Filoni, and I honestly, like, I'm super excited for everything coming for Star Wars in the next over the next couple of years.
No, the fact that I am excited to watch Disney build another universe says a lot, because I'm very tired. Like, it took one time for make me like, okay, Disney, you're good, you're doing your thing, I appreciate it, but it's way too samey and I'm bored. And now side note, I do want to see WandaVision, and
that's it.
I do want to see that, but having Star Wars be something that I'm getting excited for again, it's a good feeling.
Yeah,
I'm ready to be a little younger again.
Yeah, no, and it's it took Mando came out Disney 2019. That was when the first season was released, I believe, because that's when Disney Plus came out. You know, what's wild is that since the end of the it's a little bright there, buddy.
I've got
he's got the sun peeking over the side of my house here.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is and I guess we can end with this, because we might go on to make a different podcast about this, but the shift change in cultural activity. First of all, man, Marvel's been quiet, and I don't know if they've just been building up something. You know, WandaVision just came out, so they've been working on that a lot.
Marvel has a huge slate coming.
They have a lot coming, but man, did Mando change the tone. I mean, I haven't really, since Mando came around and since they announced all this Star Wars stuff, like, it's been kind of quiet from Marvel's end, and it'll be interesting to see what they do too. I don't want to put them in competition with each other.
No, and I am also glad that maybe not everyone would agree with me, but I'm glad that Marvel's been quiet. They needed to take a break.
They had their time.
Endgame needed to feel like an end for a while.
They literally made a couple movies within a span of a few years that are in the top 10 grossing movies of all time. Like, they cranked it out, and they did it. I'm going to say it. They did it perfectly, and I think
Endgame and Infinity War were really good.
They ended it the way it should have ended, but they're now taking this time to recoup, and I think it's good of them to go, you know what? Let's get even bigger. Let's all help each other out here, because we're working for the same mouse. Let's all grow, and Star Wars is kind of catching up now where Marvel was, and so it's now like we could very well just have a plethora of just like stellar Star Wars and Marvel shows to watch in the coming years. And what's so insane about that is that really none of it would be possible without the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. And
we thank it for everything that Disney can do.
I mean, it really showed us, like, it gave it up to Disney Plus's worth, first of all. Like, I mean,
absolutely.
It's
what got the app off the ground.
It really did. And it's gotten so much off the ground since then, and so it's really cool to see. And I'm just, what a time to be alive and watch things, right?
What a time to bow to the mouse.
Yeah. What a time to give him money.
Take our money, please don't. I'm tired of giving you money. No, but no. That's my cynicism coming through, despite my optimistic self.
Absolutely.
I'm a happy boy. That's why the sun shines on me.
Oh yeah, and I'm not. That's why I'm in the dark. I'm unhappy right now, even though I'm smiling. No, I'm kidding. I'm very happy.
Any final thoughts, unhappy man?
No, just excited, and excited that we're back again.
I know,
finally.
Right?
Yeah.
What sort of world is this?
It's a world where we're making videos again. We got time to get things.
I mean, we pretend we have time.
Well,
no, we have time, sort of.
We do, and you'll see some. Again, we'll keep you updated on whenever we decide to post things, and follow us on social media, on Instagram specifically, because that's where we are.
We got the Instagram.
We still have that Instagram page. It's been kind of dormant, but it's still there. It still works. I can still post to it.
Yeah.
And so you'll see that something on there whenever we go to post a video on YouTube.
Boom. Peace, y'all.
See ya. Subscribe.
It goes on.
We don't want. Yeah, we'll just hum the.
No outro music.
No outro music. Just hum it to you.
That's our outro song.
Yeah. Yep. An
That
ambulance.
wonderful siren coming through. Good timing. Good
Oh,
timing.
perfect. We'll see you guys. Stay beautiful.
So, you've made it to the end of the video. Congratulations. If you'd like to watch more of us, you should totally go to Instagram, because we keep our social stuff on point, and totally don't forget to post for weeks at a time. You can also subscribe if you hit down below. If you're one of those weird people that like to know when everything is happening all the time, there's a little bell that you should probably know about too. But honestly, you don't have to hit it. It's fine. And, yeah, follow us for everything. Things have shown up here. You should click them. Also down there.